Mr. Speaker, I unfortunately haven't been on the Select Committee for this particular bill, but I was on the Select Committee back in that 2008 to 2011 term when we were considering the alcohol reform bill at that stage. So it's interesting to see where we've got to now. The member that just spoke before me talked about the fact, well, actually I won't say it's a fact, the member that spoke before me said that the drinking situation, the drinking culture in New Zealand has improved, youth drinking has reduced, much better. Well, according to a study that I was just reading about as I was preparing for this speech, actually the prevalence of hazardous drinking in New Zealand is actually on the increase, Mr. Speaker. So in 2005 to 2006 it was at 18%, then we did see a drop-off 2010 to 2011 which dropped to 14.9%. And now 2014-2015 we are back up to 17.7%. So we do need to be aware that the prevalence of hazardous drinking in New Zealand is on the rise again. So it's important that we take that into consideration. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a bill that Labor does support. It corrects certain minor and technical issues that have emerged since the passage of the Sale and Supply of Alcohol Act in 2012. The bill provides for the display or promotion of the advertisement for low alcohol or non-alcoholic beer, wine or mead within an alcohol area. Mr. Speaker, the bill also provides that any company within the meaning of the Companies Act 1993 can hold an on-licence, off-licence or special licence provided that it is not prevented by doing so by its own constitution from selling alcohol or holding a licence under the Act. With the 2013 alcohol reforms, alcohol displays and promotions can only be in a single area in supermarkets and grocery stores. This is aimed at helping to limit how many shoppers are exposed to them. I guess, and we're in a very different situation in West Auckland, sitting next to my colleague David Cunliffe, because actually we do not have alcohol sold in our bottle stores. It is all under the control of the Waitakere Trusts. Some people might question whether that is with many different venues, but some people may question whether or not that's appropriate. But one thing that we can say about West Auckland is we don't have alcohol sold in our supermarkets, and also we don't have bottle stores on every corner of our low-income areas like some other parts of Auckland. And so in some ways I have to say it does provide some safeguards for our community, at least with regards to the promotion of alcohol in our community and ensuring that it's not in your face wherever you go, Mr. Speaker. The current definition of alcohol means low alcohol and non-alcoholic beer and wine cannot be displayed in the single alcohol area, which can hinder the promotion of responsible drinking. It has also caused some irritation for supermarkets and confusion among customers. Mr. Speaker, I don't have a lot to say about this bill because of the fact that I haven't seen all of the detail because I haven't been on the Select Committee. I have read through the notes that my colleagues have prepared, and it's very clear to me why we are supporting this bill. It just makes sense, Mr. Speaker, except for the fact that there are a few failures, and I will point those out. The major concern that my colleagues did point out during the Select Committee process is the failure of the bill to deal with the minimum pricing issue, and this was brought up the last time that this was considered during that 2008-2011 period when I was on Select Committee. Just with regards to considering that idea of minimum pricing. So in its final report, the Law Commission stated that, quote, "We regard pricing policies as the central plank of any reform package aimed at reducing alcohol-related harm," end quote. It is clear that inexpensive, readily available alcohol is one of the key drivers of alcohol harm, yet the government has failed to address this issue. So nothing has been done with regards to pricing, and that was an issue that was raised by my colleagues. The availability of alcohol is another concern, and we see this time and time again with colleagues in places like South Auckland, not just parliamentary colleagues but also local government representatives who are constantly fighting the establishment of increasing numbers of alcohol outlets in their communities, and they understand that actually the availability of alcohol has an impact on that community, and all of the research points out that it does increase the levels of harm. The other issue that my colleagues pointed out was with respect to advertising and sponsorship, and those would be the major ones, Mr. Speaker. So we do support this bill. There are some measures that the government should still be taking into consideration to protect our community further from the harm inflicted by alcohol. Thank you.